Yo, it's Dome here, and today we're going to be comparing two of the strongest anti-tank stratagems in the game, the Spear and the Recoilless Rifle. Let's get to it. The Spear is probably the easiest anti-tank weapon to use once you understand how it works. You lock onto a target, fire, and watch a guided missile fly straight into whatever unfortunate charger, Bile Titan, Hawk, or tank decided to exist near you. And honestly, that feeling never gets old. There's something incredibly satisfying about watching a missile curve through the air and erase a heavy enemy before it even gets close. Now, the biggest strength of the Spear is consistency. You don't have to perfectly judge bullet drop. You don't have to lead moving targets very much. You don't have to worry nearly as much about weak spots. If it locks, it usually hits. That makes it one of the safest anti-tank weapons in the game. Another huge advantage is range. The Spear lets you engage enemies from extremely far away. If your squad spots a factory strider or a tank across the map, you could often deal with it before it even becomes everyone's problem. That's incredibly valuable in higher difficulties, where letting enemies stack up can snowball into complete chaos. Now here's where I think the Spear really shines. Team play. When you're running with your friends or even with randoms who stick together, you usually have teammates clearing the smaller enemies while you're focusing on entirely deleting priority targets. That's basically the Spear's dream job. Your role becomes simple. Big thing appears, delete it. It feels amazing. But the Spear definitely has its weaknesses. The biggest one, the lock-on. Sometimes it works perfectly, other times you're staring directly at a Hawk and your launcher decides that today just isn't the day. We've all been there. You're aiming, waiting, still waiting. Meanwhile, the charger is already halfway through introducing your spine to democracy. That inconsistency can absolutely get you killed. Another downside is that you don't always control exactly where the missile lands. Sometimes it hits the perfect weak point. Other times it decides the enemy's shoulder look really interesting today. Most of the time, it'll still do good damage, but you don't get the same precision that other launchers offer. Ammo economy is another thing to think about. Every missile matters. If you waste shots, you're gonna feel it. The Spear rewards smart target selection more than just firing at everything that moves. So overall, the Spear is fantastic if you like consistency, long range engagements, and filling that dedicated anti-tank role for your squad. You become the heavy killer while everyone else handles the rest. It's safe, satisfying, and incredibly powerful. But you do have to accept that sometimes the lock-on system is going to test your patience. And I'm sure, as you guys know in my previous videos, I talked a lot about the Spear and the hype of the Spear. I'm not gonna sit here and say the Spear is bad, but after using the Recoilless Rifle a little bit more, I definitely placed the Recoilless Rifle a little higher than I did before. Moving on to the Recoilless Rifle, I've heard so much talk about the Recoilless Rifle, and after ranking the Spear so high, I had a lot of people in my comments tell me to use the Recoilless Rifle, and I'm gonna be honest, I really think I did that ranking dirty in my support weapons video, so I'll probably make a new video soon on that. But anyways, unlike the Spear, there is no lock on. No waiting, no praying that your launcher finally decides to cooperate. You point, you shoot, that's it. And honestly, there's something refreshing about that simplicity. The Recoilless Rifle rewards player skill. If you know enemy weak spots, if your aim is good, you can absolutely destroy heavy enemies. That's why I personally lean towards the Recoilless Rifle when I'm playing solo. When you're alone, things happen fast. Chargers are sprinting at you, bots are launching rockets from every direction. You don't always have time to lock on. Sometimes you just need something dead, right now. The Recoilless Rifle gives you that freedom. You control every shot. If you miss, it's on you, but if you hit, you get rewarded. And honestly, I like it. Even as a new player who can't really hit a lot of his shots, I think I'd rather bring the Recoilless also to kind of practice with my aim as well. It feels satisfying knowing that every kill came from your own aim instead of a tracking missile doing the work. Another huge advantage is flexibility. The Recoilless Rifle works on a wider variety of situations because you've never limited by whether something can lock. See an opening, take the shot. Simple. Now let's be honest, the Recoilless Rifle isn't perfect either. The biggest weakness, you actually have to hit your shot. Seems obvious. But under pressure, that's easier said than done. And especially as a new player, I'm definitely not hitting my shots every single time. Missing a rocket against a charger isn't just embarrassing, it's expensive. And now that the charger knows exactly where you are, landing consistent weak point shots takes practice, especially against enemies that never seem interested in standing still. Reloading can also leave you vulnerable. If you're by yourself and enemies are surrounding you, finding a safe moment to reload isn't always easy. That's why positioning matters so much with this weapon. You can't just panic fire your way out of every situation. You need space, awareness, confidence in your aim, but once everything clicks, the Recoilless Rifle feels incredibly rewarding. It's fast, reliable, and accurate, and it puts outcome completely in your hands. So, which one should you bring? For me, it comes down to one question. Are you playing with coordinated teams or mostly on your own? If I'm running with friends or a squad that's communicating, I'm bringing the Spear. I could sit back, focus entirely on heavy targets, and let my teammates protect me while I erase anything with too much armor. But if I'm diving solo or with randoms or maybe even a duo, I'm grabbing the Recoilless Rifle. No lock-on delays, no waiting, just aim, shoot, and move. At the end of the day, neither weapon is bad. They're both S-tier choices in the right hands. The spear gives you convenience, incredibly long-range support. The recoilless rifle gives you freedom, precision, and complete control. So now I want to hear from you guys. Are you team spear or team recoilless rifle? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this comparison, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next Helldivers video. Dome out. Peace.